Kate asked me to take a few minutes to just talk about my experience. Not getting paid for this unless you wanted to throw in a cruise. That would be great, but I doubt that's going to happen. But I thought I'd just share my experiences with working with Ents Homes. Most of my buyers come from the internet, and a lot of them are fairly sophisticated, and they'll study the market. They know there's other builders here, and they'll run the numbers, and they get into town, whether they're coming from out of state or in state, but they'll come into town and they'll drive around and look at the other projects, and then they come to my office to meet with me. They'll always bring up the other builder that builds quite a few homes as well. I won't mention their name, and as they just talk about that, they said, well, you know, their square foot prices look pretty good, and their homes seem to be pretty nice, and what about them? Why Ents? And I just tell them it's really not what you see that counts, it's what you don't see. And that is, I see that plaque as I walk in. Treasure Valley happens to be the one I like to sell out of, and see that board there that shows the blown-in insulation versus roll, the rebar and the flat work, the foam siding on the sides of the house and that. So I says all this stuff that you don't see, plus they've been around for over 50 years, the 210 warranty, which is what Cade mentioned, and that. So it's a lot of just what you don't see that really counts. And as we go out looking at homes, and I've even taken some pretty sophisticated buyers to the other builders' homes and to the Ents homes, and I asked for their honest opinion. I says, what do you think? And the questions they asked were just questions I'd never even heard of or thought of, and they'd say, I can see that Ents is the best builder. And just to give you a couple of examples, this year, and when I sold my homes, and Kate was mentioning about you don't have to worry about your buyers being taken by the sales staff on site or that really has never been a problem or an issue with me. In my first home I sold this year, I had some people I'd worked with probably a year or two ago, and they said, well, we're not quite ready to sell yet. Or ready to buy yet because we need to sell our home. We've got to wrap up our affairs and that. So we went through the project, happened to be Treasure Valley, and they said, well, we will get our affairs in order and then we'll come see you. Well, months went by, maybe even a year went by, and all of a sudden I get an email. It's an Ents contract coming into my email. They'd come back into town and purchased a home in Treasure Valley. I didn't even know about it until the contract actually came in. And the sales staff there, Chuck and Matt, handled it. I didn't even see them again until at closing, when they came into town, drove cross country with their moving van, and I saw them at the closing. That was the next time I saw them. I could hardly even remember what they looked like because it had been so long since I'd seen them. And then what really impressed me is they came into town, I think it was on a Friday, and they'd been taking their time crossing the country, and their moving van actually pulled in the same time they did. And of course, if you sign on Friday, you're not going to fund and record Friday. It's going to be Monday or Tuesday. And they gave them the keys to their home, told them the moving van could go ahead and unload, and they could take possession of their home. I thought that was, you know, the extra mile above and beyond the call of duty. The other experience I had was this fall. I had a couple from San Diego come up. And if you know, in the market under about 175, 200, it's pretty tough out there for what's left in the market. And I took them around for most of the day, and they said, geez, is this it? Is this all our choice that we have? And I says, well, how about considering a new home? I drove them out to Treasure Valley again, and we walked around the complex, and they kind of got excited, and they actually went above what they're figuring on their budget, but they wanted to see a different model than what they had out there. So sent them over to Tuscany Ridge. The next day, they called me and they said, well, we liked Treasure Valley, but we actually found a model we liked better, so we're going to upgrade. And the lot that we'd picked out in Treasure Valley, they turned back, so to speak, and then went ahead and built their home on another lot. Well, I remembered that lot, and I'm not going to give the number out because the lots around it I think are the best lots in Treasure Valley, and I want to sell those. But it was 2 weeks later, another couple came in, and same thing. They're in the same price range, really tough to find them a home. And they says, we're not here to buy, we're just here to look. We just give us a map and some listings, we'll drive it around ourselves, and then we'll catch up with you later. So I kind of figured what was going to happen. I gave them the listings, they drove around. And the next morning I get just before they left the office, I said, you know, if you want and you think you can move up a little bit in price, go out to Treasure Valley, look at lot, I'll call it Lot A. Go out there and look at that lot. I had some buyers that were going to choose that lot. I think it's the best lot in the whole project. And drive, you know, check that out. Next morning I get a call. He says, we just put a deposit on Lot A in Treasure Valley. You're right. We couldn't find anything that we liked. It just didn't work for us. So just the staff out there were great. They took pictures, Chuck, Matt. I was just really impressed with it. And then this just happened at the end of November. And today I just walked into the office and picked up a check for 2 commissions plus 2 bonuses. So these guys are great to work with. Yeah, that was a good thing. So I think they're great to work with, not only the quality of the home, but the sales staff out there at the homes and just Ents in general. It's an easy sell if you just tell the people you're working with, you know, do you want to try and find something in 175 to 200, 250 that's trash that you have to build, you know, have to do a lot of work on, or do you want to just find something that's brand new that you know you can have a good home and get taken well care of by the salesman out there. So I look forward to this year, and hopefully maybe I'll win the cruise, and if not, I'll still be selling homes again for next year. So thank you.